So today it's pretty much on lifestyle and the way we actually improve our something different from the regular technical talks and things. I have planned it in such a way that everyone gets involved in some way. Might be boring for some, might be interesting for some. You might learn something, or it's all up to you. And it's okay. So this is something that I've been actually reading in the recent past. So more of I've been reading on how to improve my food habits and stuffs like that. So how to bring into a routine and things like that. So based on that and based on Ted's suggestion yesterday, so this is more he suggested on ideas of getting to do something better. So like if you want to do something better, so how do you actually go about? Are there any small tricks or techniques that will actually make you do things in a better way, stay more focused and not give up rather? So based on that and a little bit of one part of it that I want to talk about today is the New Year resolutions. All of us actually take a lot of resolutions in life, right? So we keep taking resolutions and then we full of enthusiasm, we start doing something, but then the same enthusiasm we drop it in. It doesn't last longer or things like that. So before I actually start, can you all please list down things that you actually want to change? Unproductive, unhealthier ways, habits that you have and that you actually want to change?
Personal or anything in general?
Anything. Concern, pertaining to you. Anything that, or new habit.
Vegetarian.
Something that you actually want to do.
Okay.
And done. Okay, so similarly, probably the other side of your sheet or something, the resolutions that you had taken earlier, those that were successful but not, and some that were not successful, or how long it lasted and things like that. So resolutions that you have taken in the past, whether it was successful or not, how long were you able to carry forward it? So these are the old ones.
Yeah, Kelvin, just now about your wine just came early in the morning.
Oh, okay.
It's in the fridge.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Hi.
Like a deep fish.
There aren't any past resolutions, anything,
Resolutions.
or okay, habits that you tried cultivating but didn't happen or happened.
Or even breaking.
Okay.
Yes, mine is very instantaneous. Never happened.
Okay. So basically, several research and stuffs actually have a scientific theory behind this habits and cultivating new habits and making a habit as a long-term goal. So that's just within this Anil. So there are, as you see, there are two regions in the brain. The habits, that is the basal ganglia, and then the cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex, we would have all heard, it's involved in thinking and creativeness and spontaneity and several things. So that's a fast-paced portion of your brain, right? So that actually reacts really instantly and stuffs. And then your basal ganglia is something that does very minimal work. It requires very minimal energy, no thinking process. So that's like an automated process. So it keeps doing whatever you have already fed in. So this is actually the chunking process, or it's all behind. So how do you actually start a particular new habit or a change in your habit or something like that is through this. So initial stages, when you kickstart a new habit, both parts of your brain actually work, and the cerebral cortex helps you pick up it, helps you adapt to it. So that's when you actually make conscious efforts to bring in the habit. But once you do it over a period of time, you force yourself, not force, but then find easy means to do it, then your basal ganglia picks it and it automatically does it. So this is whether it's a workout or a food routine or uh, in fact, that's the thing for brushing our teeth as well. So brushing our teeth and several small routines have become an automated process in our life because they're already stored. So it's so basically if you develop any habit based on this cycle, it's actually easier for you to imbibe into your life and some stuff like this. So this is the biological one, and yeah, and the next one is your habit loop. So habit actually, it has three loops. So any habit is, you have a cue wherein you need a trigger. So cue is actually the trigger that makes you do the work, and then routine is the action, and reward, so you celebrate every time you win over small steps. And then again you'll have some craving, so that reward, so when you celebrate you'll obviously feel motivated and you go back. So that itself, the action itself, the habit itself serves as motivation, and you don't need for a different kind of motivation. So if any, I mean, this is a proven model as such for bringing in new habits or changing the long bad habits, or like quit smoking, several things. People, they actually follow this. So something actually triggers, they do the action, and then they praise themselves, or they just celebrate it, or they find what the reward is. And so, like for example, uh, if you want to run, so basically running early in the morning, so the cue is the probably your another friend getting up and going for a workout. So you see that, and that triggers, or your running shoes or anything, and then you actually run and you find all your energy level hyped up, and that's the reward. The reward is not the end result, but the immediate fulfillment that you get. So this is the habit loop. And yeah, so in the habit loop, like the cue is actually the reminder or the trigger that tells you that you will have to do the action. So this is one such example. So basically, okay, so for reminder again, can you actually all list down things that you do every day in life, always you do every day? Eat, breathe, yeah, brush your teeth, you take bath if you do so.
Shot fired. Hi.
Hmm?
Raise your arms.
Yeah, I love this. They go down. Nah, I don't do that.
Yeah, I saw that.
You guys don't breathe, brush your teeth every day.
No? Why would you want to brush your teeth?
Every day you don't?
Oh, secretly sound.
You don't even shower sometimes. Why brush your teeth and you're going to eat and dirty it again? Correct.
this being one kind of the reminder. The other is things that you are actually not doing voluntarily but are forced to do. Like, for example, when you sit in the living room, you are also forced to watch a commercial or forced to watch TV. So, those things, there are several things like that as well, right? So, can you list down those things? So, okay. So, things that you are actually, you do it as your day progresses. So, you don't do it voluntarily. So, brushing your teeth or taking bath is something that you do. But things that happen to you in a day. You have to search for triggers, I think. Maybe a special kind of scientific model.
Things that you're forced to do.
Not force, things that happen to you. Coding,
No, it's just
looking at the computer,
It's voluntary. Actually.
Voluntarily. Yeah.
that you could have written in the first list, right?
I think what's not voluntary is showering.
Okay, so like these two lists, they actually serve as your triggers. So one famous example everywhere is like if you want to, okay, I'll come to that in the future. So if you want to work out, for example, and if you're not able to find a special time, if you want to do your push-ups, things like that, you can actually use the commercial series. So it's like if you take that as your trigger. So every time a commercial comes in, it definitely comes in for more than 2 minutes. So every time a commercial comes in, I'm going to do 5 push-ups or I'm going to do something else. So that's when you build, that's the trigger that you get for doing your new habit or things like that. So this is like for practicing new habits, or that's when you can feel, you can check on your posture if you feel you're not sitting properly and watching. So every time, so something, you can just create these as your triggers, practice these as your triggers, that it will slowly imbibe into this. As soon as you see this commercial, or so as soon as you see this TV program, you'll schedule it in such a way that you do something there. So you, for a very good example is workout. So if you don't have time for workout, you can use this time and then you start doing it. And yeah, so that's when you choose your reminder. So whichever is convenient to you, you choose that. Then the second step, that is habit in the habit loop, is make it so easy that you can't say no. So like I said, the famous example is flossing teeth. So it's actually a very tedious process where you'll have to go through each teeth gap and then clear everything and things like that. And if it is something that you have to imbibe anew, so it's going to take a lot of time, it's going to take a lot of effort. So actually, if you do it everything at every teeth at a time, starting day one, it's going to be a little difficult and you might lose the habit of doing it. So the one more principle is start it easy and small. So like one teeth and then you gradually increase it every day. So that way it will become an habit. So it does, and habit is something that you cultivate in a span of time, and hence so this is one great step in approaching building new long-term changes. So that's like make it so easy that you can't say no at all. So like for example, you would have all written your resolutions or new habits that you want to bring it, right? So maybe you can all see to it and see if it can be broken into smaller things or easier things to which you can definitely not say a no. A 1.5 hour workout in a gym might be difficult, but a 5 or 6 planks at home between commercials won't be difficult. So that's easy, and that's a way of building a new habit. And as you go, it'll be your body will get used to it, that you can slowly increase it further and make it a habit. The third thing is, like I said, reward. So as soon as you get, you just have to celebrate it. So this is just one gift. So all you have to do is celebrate smallest achievements. So that will actually give you the craving for going in search of the trigger. So that's why it's very, very important to celebrate small achievements that you do out of your routine, the new routine rather. So create the craving. So basically you'll have I wouldn't call it a motivation because you don't need a motivation here. So motivation is something that is for an immediate leap into a new change or something like that. But then for this kind of a habitual changes, all you need is just a craving. So you'll have to, if you keep doing it, it'll get imbibed into your life without even your knowledge, without whether motivation is there or not. So, and now that you have one habit, you can easily change to the another by just changing the routine. So, like if you have a bad habit of eating junk food, slowly just change the routine alone. So, the cue is the hunger. What you eat alone or what you do alone is going to be different. Reward is going to be same, and it's going to be the same loop again and again. But yes, and craving here is the feeling full, so that should be the craving here. So if that is there, then it's going to be an easy change. So you already have a loop, you already have a habit loop, so all you have to do is just switch the routines. So this is another proven model. Then yeah, this is another one thing that is very very important is like, okay, so all of us will say I want to become strong, I want to lose so many kgs. So these are actually called your appearance or your performance level of behavioral changes. But what needs to be changed is the identity. So identity is where the belief in yourself, where you say that I am this kind of a person who can become strong. I am this kind of a person who can who can quit smoking. So if that identity is created, it's going to be easier, and that will actually help you in changing your habits or creating new habits. So initially, it's going to be a conscious effort wherein you'll have to keep telling that I am this kind of a person. But as you proceed in weeks, it'll become, definitely it'll become you'll become that kind of a person. So yeah, so it's the interior of behavior change that builds habits is your identity. So the what you are. So like here only in this example, so I am the type of person who never misses a workout, or I am the type of person who can remember names or who can remember syntax. Then that is what is your identity. So when you believe it, you'll obviously remember, obviously you will do it, than saying I can do so much and I can do so much. So these two, when it relates to your performance or appearance level statements, so these, if you already have a habit, building on top of it, this can be useful. But if you're going to change your habit, or if you're going to have a new habit, it's your identity which you have to concentrate on. And this is one of the most important tips that is actually given by all researchers on changing habits and things like that. Okay, so basically, yeah, like it's given here, it's all basically without changing your identity. If you just try to achieve a performance or an appearance level, then it's not going to happen. It will not last long. So there'll be an immediate thing, but until you become that person, it's not going to be lasting long. And yeah, like want to become strong, become the type of person who never misses a workout, and then every small win you can celebrate, and that becomes a habit, and there you achieve better results. Yeah, this is the whole picture. It's so it's actually not just with personal traits or personal life. It can be adopted for organizational habits as well, like given there. So like what actually we did yesterday, so the retrospective as well. So it was small things, easy things that we keep doing it, and then it becomes a habit, and we keep seeing what is good and what is not good, and we keep changing it, right? So it's the same thing. Yeah. And doesn't stop here. Actually, it has direct effect on your willpower. So your willpower actually increases if you are a habitual person who is able to get into this habit loop and change your habits and stuff like that. Increases your self-control and win over temptations and become better at something. So anything you want to do, if you have this habit circle, I mean loop, if you are able to win over that, then it's there. And these are snippets. I mean, generally it's like just to show that even otherwise, wherever stated otherwise, if you just say, for example, if you take how to be better at something, so it's like if you go for a WikiHow or several other articles and studies, so it again says identify your goal, identify the steps, be persistent, reward yourself, and the loop repeats. So it's the same thing. So the identify the goal is your cue. So you know what it is, and then you know the steps, and then you just do the routine, reward yourself, and then it circles. So that's pretty much the whole thing. Probably you people should try it out with this new year. That's it.
What do we do with the paper?
Can you use it?
So it's actually, I mean, as you see, if you can see, as you proceed through, you would have seen that it can be broken down into simpler steps. It can be done on a regular basis. You can have a trigger linking to it and stuff like that.
There's one interesting thing. They said that it takes about 21 days for you to form a habit. So if you can continue something for 21 days,
It becomes a habit.
it becomes a habit. So remember the cycle that she had, the cerebral cortex and then the basal. So the shift from that cycle, right, takes about 21 days for your body to adapt to. So if you want a habit, just try and stick to 21 days. Most likely you'll be able to make it out alive.
Not 3 days, because I'm trying to like wake up, do like push-ups, yoga, and then I'm like so tired. Like 3 days more lah.
3 days more.
It becomes a habit.
So most likely you'll affect it that way.
Then they must put a start there. Not
I'll have to
the guideline,
stop
that's not like
broadcasting.
the